So do you want to join the Mafia? Because I know I do. And in May, I will be joining the Mafia, hopefully working my way to become a Donna. You know, everybody needs a female head of the Mafia. So hello, heathens. Welcome to my May TBR. It is super warm outside. The UK is baking. We're really happy. And I've got a bunch of books that I'm going to read in May. Now, one of the things that I'm taking part in May, as that intro may suggest, is May Mafia Romance Readathon. So this is the Mafia Romance Readathon. It is happening from the 1st of May to the 10th of May. And it is hosted by the wonderful, wonderful Jen at the Book Refuge. Her videos are incredible. I love her channel. And I will link her below. And I'll also link her announcement. So part of this readathon, there is kind of a competitive element. And there's like a bingo board. And you can earn points. And you can earn your way to hopefully the top of the Mafia, becoming a Donna or a Kappa. You know. We'll see how many points I can get. So she explains all of that in her video. So I'll link that below. There's also some co-hosts. So we've got Helen at What Helen Reads. We've got Kyan is Booked. And then we've got Amber Reads Romance. We've also got Jess at Honest Fiction. So they're all doing videos. They've all done some amazing recommendation videos. And I'll link their channels down below. So with all of that said, I'm going to get into what I'm reading. So I'll be reading Mafia Romance, but I'll also be reading a whole bunch of other books. And in my previous video, I mentioned I was doing sort of an ocean theme for, and I've started, so we're going to have a little bit of that. So for kind of spring, early summer, I'm kind of in that mood. So I've got a bit of an ocean theme. I've also got a bit of a twisted Peter Pan theme going on. And I've got the new Runix book, which I'm really excited about. So, and it's a Karina Halle-athon as well. So loads and loads of books I'm going to be reading this month. So let's start with the Mafia books. Like I said, there is a bit of an element in terms of a bingo board. I find that it's difficult to really know what's in the book until you read it. So these are just some of my early predictions, but I will count up all my points and I'll review all these books when I'm done. So the first book I have here is this one. I'm really excited about this. This is Purgatory, Swallows and Psychos. And this is by K.L. Taylor Lane. And this book is, so the main character, the main female character in this book is apparently a psychopath. So she's psychotic. Everybody's really scared of her. And she is the head of this crime family. And I believe it is also based in London. So kind of Peaky Blinders vibes. So one of the prompts is a female boss. Also a new to you author. I have never read K.L. Taylor Lane. So that would work for those prompts. And then I also believe, so I think there's a interracial relationship is one of the prompts as well. And I believe there's one in here as well. So hopefully that will be fantastic for all of those prompts. Then while we're doing female bosses, let's do another female boss. So clearly I like that trope. We've got Wretched. This is by Emily McIntyre. I read Hooked, which I love, Emily McIntyre. So she takes kind of fairy tales and existing stories, and she kind of twists them into these sort of dark romance, mafia type of stories. So I've actually got two on my list. So the other one is Hexed, and this also comes into my ocean theme that I'm doing. And this one is a mafia version of The Little Mermaid. So he's the prince of the La Cosa Nostra, and she's the witch who steals his heart. So Cosa Nostra is one of the bingo boards as well, one of the squares, so that'll work for that. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love the other Emily McIntyre book. And then Wretched, this one is a woman can be terrible and great too. So she is, Eveline Wesley has always been the bad guy. As the brains, brawn and botanist behind her family's drug empire, she's her father's ruthless secret weapon. After a one-night stand with a gorgeous man at a nightclub, she's sated her urges and is back to her criminal ways. Don't we love this girl already? Right, okay. That is until the same man shows up as a new westerly lackey under yet a totally different name. And apparently her new love interest, who she's had this hot one-night stand with, is actually an undercover DEA agent. So that's kind of giving me Sons of Anarchy vibes as well. Oh, I cannot wait to read both of these. I just think it's going to be amazing. So I'm really, really excited. And like I said, this fits my ocean theme as well, my own kind of theme. Then one of the other prompts is continuing in a series, so the next book in a series, and this is God of Pain by Rena Kent. I am on a mission to continue in my Legacy of God series. I adored God of Malice. And this one is about Crichton, who barely speaks. I like the strong silent type. And Annika, I believe it's Annika. Yeah, Annika, who is, she is actually the Bratva princess. So Bratva is another bingo block in the bingo challenge. So that will cover that. And it's their romance. And God of Pain refers to the fact that apparently Crichton is very into his BDSM. So, yeah, we shall see how that relationship develops, but that's going to be really interesting because Annika is all like flowers and sparkles and purple, and she's got purple hair. And Crichton is like dark, broody, I never speak. So that should be interesting. Then I have one that I have been dying, pun intended, to read. This is Phantom by Greer Rivers. Pam Greer, what am I talking about? By Greer Rivers. This is a retelling of Phantom of the Opera as a kind of a Mafia dark romance. Now, it says it's a dark, modern, romantic retelling of Phantom of the Opera. I would say that Phantom of the Opera is a dark romance anyway, and it's very gothic. And I just think that adding that kind of modern Mafia element into that is going to be really, really good. This one works for new to me author. I think this was one that Jen has also talked about in the past, so it may work for like host rec as well, and then we'll see what other kind of tropes are in here. I think again one of the bingo squares is neurodiversity or disability, and I believe Scarlett, who is the main character in here, she suffers with anxiety attacks. So on the back here it says, she's my muse and I'm her demon of music. A year ago, witnessed sweet Scarlett's day's dark side. She's been my obsession ever since. I was content with being her secret, content with protecting her from afar, until an enemy from my past sets his sights on her. Our families have deep history of hatred, and Scarlett is caught in the middle. So I feel like that kind of is giving me Romeo and Juliet vibes as well. So I can't wait to read that. And then I have this one. So this is my dark fairy tale. This is by Gianna Darling. Again, this is going to be my first foray into Gianna Darling. I don't know why. But it's also a rec that Jen was talking about and looking forward to reading. It's got red on the cover, which is another prompt. It is also set in Sicily. So Italian Mafia is one of the prompts. And it just sounds, again, it's giving me those kind of warm, sunny holiday vibes, which we're having at the moment. So this one is, we've got Guinevere. Gorgeous. If I ever had children, I would have called them Guinevere. And Raphael. So Guinevere, for all my life, Italy has called to me as strongly as my father forbade me to go. But now I'm making my own way, spending a summer in his homeland before I accept the life my parents have planned for me. All those plans come to a screeching halt the moment I meet him, Raffaello Romano. Raphael. Everyone knows me as the capo di capi of the Camorra, a notorious mafiosi in northern Italy, but she makes me remember who I used to be before I became this monster. For her, I could be so much more, but she can never know the truth about who I am. Now, side note, I was obsessed with The Last Don and The Last Don 2 when I was younger. I must have watched that program an embarrassing amount of time, like countless times. It's the kind of the TV serialized version of the Mario Puzo novels, and I was obsessed with Crocifisso, who was the Don in question, and my God, that man was handsome. I'm also half Italian, so this just sings to my heart in many, many ways. I cannot wait to read this. I think it's going to be amazing. I also think it's a standalone, which is great. And then if I have time in the like 10 days this readathon is taking place, I have all of the books in the Brutal Birthright series by Sophie Locke. Now, I became a Sophie Locke fan after reading the Sinners and Saints duet. So there are no devils and there are no saints. There's no devil and there are no saints. And I bought this whole series. Now, I believe these are all kind of mafia, organized crime related. This is the first one, Brutal Prince. And this is Chicago's underworld. And the Irish Mafia, which again is one of the blocks, the Irish Mafia. Then Savage, this is, so I believe there's one of them, no, not that one. I'm trying to remember which one it was. There's definitely one, yeah, this one is Bratva, yeah, Bratva Boss in Chicago, so Heavy Crown. So they all kind of hit some of the tropes and some of the blocks. I'm not sure I'm going to get to, I mean, I'm probably not, let's be honest. I won't be able to read all of them. But I definitely want to read the first one, which is Brutal Prince. And I again, I love all things Irish, and I'm just imagining a gorgeous Irish accent in my head. And then kind of maybe some of the others, but I'll be continuing. I really want to read the series because I've also got the Kingmakers series, the whole series over there. So I first have to read this one, and then the Kingmaker series is their kids. So there's gonna be a lot of reading. My eyes are gonna bleed, but in a good way. I like that kind of torture. Then, right, so that is my Mafia. Then, like I said, the ocean, water, all of those things is just appealing to me. And I read Voyage of the Damned. Now, I'm going to talk about this in another video, so I won't actually give a review now, but this is by Frances White. I loved it. This is so great. This is so unlike anything I've ever read. But the whole book is set on this, well, it's a cruise liner, but this is a fantasy world, right? But it's set on this ship sailing towards a mountain for reasons. But like I said, I'll get into that in my review. But this is really kind of got me into that now, wanting to read all of these ocean books. So I've read this one. So then I started I finished actually. I started listening to the first book in this series. So this is the second book. This is the dark one. The first book is The Never King. So this is like a dark romance version of Peter Pan, so the Never King in question is Peter Pan, but this is very spicy, sexy, dark romance version of it. You know, Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. And I loved that first book. So like I said, I listened to that one on audio. The second book I've got physically, and you can see I immediately started reading it because the first one actually ends on a cliffhanger. And then I think I've got the third one on audio as well. And there's a fourth and a fifth, but they're not terribly long, so I'm trying to get through that whole series, and I can do a whole series review. But this is fantastic. Like I love the kind of, I love retellings. I love dark romance retellings, but that whole element of Peter Pan, and like I think Hook is coming into it more. So we've got the pirate element. So again, it goes in with my pirates and mermaids and ocean and dark romance themes. So this is amazing. And like I said, I want to get my way through that entire series. Then, on that note, the last Lost Girl. I found that really hard to say. So this one is also a dark romance retelling of Peter Pan, but very much focuses, I think, on Wendy, darling. So it says, welcome to Neverland, where shadows consume and magic is frighteningly real. Ava struggling to provide for herself and her sister, who slips further into insanity with each passing day, raving about Neverland, obsessed with the second star that Ava can't see in the black velvety sky, until the night bell succumbs to the terrifying shadows plaguing her and sweeps Ava away to a land that is only supposed to exist in storybooks. Neverland is real, and so is Peter Pan. And he's grown from a boy to a man wielding a terrible power he uses to rule the island. So this sounds very similar, I will say, to the Nikki St. Crow series. So I feel like if you like one, you might like the other one. And because I like that so much, so that premise is you've got the Darlings, so the Darling family, the descendants of Wendy Darling. Every descendant has been called back to Neverland to help find Peter Pan's shadow. So I feel like it has a slightly, and they go mad in the process. So it feel like it has a similar premise. But Jess from Honest Fiction actually really rates this, really recommends this. So I was like, I must get this and read it because it's perfect for the theme as well. And then following on from that, I have also started reading sneakily this because I could not stop myself. This is A Ship of Bones and Teeth by Karina Halle. Again, this was part of my oceanic themed, mermaid themed. So this is a dark romance Little Mermaid retelling. It is it's just so good. I love Karina Halle. I literally, I'm gonna get a pin that says I love Karina Halle. So again, I obviously will wait to finish reading this, but this kind of goes into that theme as well. And then this has just kicked me off on a Karina Halle-a-thon. So in my quest to read all of Karina Halle's books, I am going to continue with this one. I then have A River of Shadows, and this is, I believe, the first book in the Underworld series. So when 24-year-old Hannah Heiken's estranged father dies, she reluctantly makes the trip to northern Finland for his funeral. Being in the enchanting land of ice and snow feels miles away from Hannah's busy life back in Los Angeles, especially under these complicated circumstances. But when Hannah discovers that her father's body is missing, that's when things get really weird. A mysterious man, Rasmus, tells Hannah the truth. Her father was a powerful shaman who went into Tonel, the realm of the dead, in order to barter for more life, and has been held captive by Tumi, the god of death. The only way her father can be freed is if she travels with Rasmus into the mythical underworld to rescue him. That sounds incredible. I love the Finnish Axebass. You don't get many books, well, I haven't read many books set in the Nordics, but this is really cool. I love the fact that we're going to the underworld and like that whole god of death thing. It's just my vibe. And like I said, this, and again, it's that ocean theme, it's that water theme. And this is the first in her series, so hopefully I will enjoy this and then I can continue in on the series. Then we've got Hollow. So this is a kind of a dark academia romance version retelling of Sleepy Hollow. And that is all I want to know. That is it. And it's Karina Halle. Done. And then I was so excited to get this. This might actually be the next one I read because it's the newest one. This is the brand new Karina Halle. This is Nocturne. Now, if someone said, write a book that Joe might like, this would be it. So this is Seven, the movie Seven, which I love, Brad Pitt, meets LA Confidential with a vampire twist in this true crime and film noir inspired standalone dark romance from Karina Halle. I mean, all of those words were literally designed to make me lose my mind over a book. And it's 1940s Los Angeles. There's a murder that happens known as the Black Dahlia. Again, I was obsessed with that case. And it shocks the city, and then they try and figure out what happens. But there's apparently a vampire element as well. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, what? Karina Halle, you were in my brain. I'm salivating. I cannot wait to read that book, literally. Then speaking of books I'm salivating about. Enigma! It's in my grubby little hands. This actually came earlier than I thought it would, so I'm very excited. This cover is very pretty, and that's kind of raised. So this is Runix's first book. If you've been here a while, you may know that Gothicana is Satan tier, one of my favorite books of all time. I adore it. This is her new book. So this again, I think has that kind of dark academia slant. Honestly, I bought this sight unseen, right? I didn't even look. I was just like, yes, I've had it on pre-order for ages. So it says, Salem Salazar is the black sheep of her wealthy family. Plagued by scandals, she enrolls at the elite Mortimer University to find out what happened to her perfect missing older sister, Olivia. There, she soon discovers Olivia is only one of many girls who have disappeared at Mortimer and vows to uncover the dark forces responsible, even if it means using herself as bait. And Casimir van der Waal has caught her scent. Cas may look as though he was carved by the gods, but he also has a dark past, a hidden agenda, and a ravenous appetite for beautiful, golden-eyed girls. But whilst Cas is obsessed with Salem, he is far from the most dangerous thing at Mortimer. As Salem and Cas' investigation intertwine, the undeniable chemistry ignites. Can they uncover the truth before it consumes them both? Oh, it sounds spectacular, and if it's even half as good as Gothicana. And then I've got two more. One's a horror that I cannot wait to read, all like a thriller horror. And then this one is Weird Girl, Twisted, Crazy, Out There, Unhinged. Okay, my thing. So this one is Shy Girl. This is the latest Mia Ballard. I think Sugar is the other one, so I may read that if I like this, but this is her latest novel. And this one just sounds completely unhinged. So this is lonely, broken, depressed with a serious case of OCD. Gia finds herself at a crossroads when her financial troubles lead her to Nathan, a mysterious and affluent man she encounters on a sugar dating website. So, you know, like Sugar Daddy. Yeah. Desperate for a solution, Gia is intrigued by Nathan's unconventional offer. In exchange for living as his devoted pet, all her debts will be erased, but the longer Gia is in his captivity, the more animalistic she becomes. What? Okay, that's yeah. And then this is Geneva Rose's Home is Where the Bodies Are. I love this cover. It's made to look like a old school VHS tape. I think this is VHS on the back, on the side there. And I believe this is about sibling. I think their parents die. And they find a videotape in their parents' belongings that kind of uncovers a chilling secret in the family or something that their parents may have done that they were trying to cover up. And then the kids sort of start to uncover what is happening with their family and who their parents really are. I believe that's the premise. I kind of want to go in blind. So I'm not really closely reading the back. I don't want to. But it just sounded so cool. And I could not resist this cover. Also, Lisa Jewell has blurbed it. So, yeah. And I'm in the mood for a bit of horror because I haven't read that for a while. So this is like horror thriller, apparently. So, that is it. There's also going to be some other books that I may be slipping in, but, you know. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you're joining the Mafia Readathon. And yeah, I will speak to you all very soon. Bye.